And we're live. Well, oh hi, you're back. Hi, you're back. Hi, you came back. Hi, how are you doing? How are you doing? How's been your day? Well, thank you for coming back, and I hope you're ready for today's adventure. Like I said in the previous video, today we're gonna be installing TYPO3, this guy over here, but with DDEV as well as XAMPP. Now, in order to do that on Windows, you first need to, of course, get DDEV up and running. And on the DDEV website, there you go, they have quite good documentation of how you do that running. If you're on Mac OS, if you're on Windows with WSL2, traditional Windows, you see all of these. So based on your operating system, I suggest you follow these steps, because I am not going to go through these steps again, guys. These steps were quite a lot to deal with, but I did get them running. What I will say, if you are going to go the WSL2 route, when you're done with these steps, where was it? Just a second. Let me open my Omnivore, and I'll show you what I did, because I did follow the DDEV steps as they outline there, and what you would need is an Ubuntu distro, because we're running a subsystem for Linux on our Windows machine, so you're going to need an Ubuntu distribution. Now there's a lot of steps on how to do this in the command line, but I don't like things here. This is the one I used. I'll share this link. I followed these steps. This is in administrator PowerShell, WSL install. Then this is how you check if WSL is working. Then it should give you a distro name. So now when I ran this the first time, it didn't give me a distro name. That's when you need to install the distro. There's steps to do this on the command line, but we don't need to do that, guys. We really don't. So if I were to open a PowerShell, let me open a PowerShell. Come on, PowerShell. You can do it. There we go. If I were to open a PowerShell and run the command, what was it? Just this minute. WSL-L-V. I hope you can let me increase this. WSL-L-V. See, for me it now says Ubuntu and all of that, because it's not running. My thing is not running. And the way I did this, after I had done this, the WSL install, and I saw this wasn't running, I forwent the entire process of trying to do it in the command line, and I just went to the Microsoft Store. I went, because it's there in the Microsoft Store. Went straight to the Microsoft Store, and I just searched for Ubuntu. However, I did not get the latest version of Ubuntu, and I just installed Ubuntu 20.1. You saw, right? After that, I ran this command, right? Then after that was done, then I went and did my DDEV -v to see which version of DDEV I have. Then now it gives me that. Okay. Anyway, I don't know why that's going on. Did I write it correctly? It should be -v. Anyway, but in any case, the DDEV is running on my machine. And so now when I need to run DDEV commands, I need to open this, my subsystem, and this is where we're going to install TYPO3 from. Come on, Ubuntu, you can do it. Okay, there we go. And the setup for this is not that difficult, because once you open it up, it'll ask you for your username and your password, which you'll need if you decide to modify your terminal, but we're not doing that. And now we're going to go into my directory. I made a folder, sites, cd TYPO3 sites, and this is where we're going to be. I'll show you the folders I made. This is some sites I was playing with. But what we're going to do first is we're going to come here. Then we're just going to follow these steps. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to call this directory mkdir TYPO3 YT. There. Then we're going to cd into this folder. Oopsie. cd TYPO3. Well, I already have another on this. There we go. Now in that folder, just clear the terminal. Then the first command we need to run is this one, where we tell DDEV to configure a project, configure a new DDEV site with the project type is going to be TYPO3. Create a doc root called public, because public is where all of our assets for our site are going to go. So we need to tell TYPO3 to configure, to create the doc root and put it in the public folder, because that's where TYPO3 stores the public assets, and then the PHP version. So I'm going to do that, copy this and just paste that into here, press enter. Okay, and that's done. With that done, go on to the next command. After you've done this, I had an issue with this when I first tried to use the steps from the TYPO3 documentation. I'll show you those. This DDEV start command was missing. It was missing in the documentation. Then I went and asked them, asked the TYPO3 stack what's going on. They said, no, the start command needs to be there. So after you do your config, you need to start your DDEV. Right? And then I went and made a pull request to have it fixed. Just wait for that to start. See, it starts a container, all of that, created. And just wait for it for a bit. Shouldn't take too much time. Come on. Okay, now we're going to run this command. And this one is, you see, when you go to the docs, the command here is going to be different based on the, if you want to install a specific version. If you want to install a specific version, it will be CMS-based distribution colon, what's it called? The tiret. I don't know what it's called in English, but the shift 6 thingy and the version. We're just going to do here, do that. Then it's going to ask me to clear everything. And because I have nothing I need in here specifically, I'm just going to tell it yes, absolutely, because there's nothing else in here. Then it's going to install TYPO3, do all of that. And yeah, no composer file, this is all fine. Then it's going to install. So I do what it does. While it does that, let's check the next command. Okay, right, now that's done. This command we copied, whenever you install TYPO3 for the first time, you need to give it a file named exactly first install.php, or in this case first install, because this will then load up the installation page and the setup page for your TYPO3 site. And this is done because not everyone has access to this folder, so not everyone can continuously reinstall on your site. So on your first installation, you need to create this file called first install and then open the web terminal, which we're going to do after this. So this does that. And if you want to see where that went and clear this terminal, go into cd, just show you the files in here. First, this is where we go to cd and public. We do this. See, there's our first install file that we made. Just get out of there. With that done, now we can do DDEV launch. And I do believe that is the next command. Yes, pa? Yes, that is the DDEV command. Go DDEV launch. This is going to open in my default browser. I'm just going to copy the URL and bring it into this browser that we're in. Just bear with me for a second. Yeah, it's going to tell me some stuff about that. So copy this. Close this browser. I don't know how to tell my browser that this is okay, and I'm the one who's doing it. I do that. Security risk. No, I'm sure. Advanced. Come on. Advanced. I understand. Then it's going to start the TYPO3 installation. No problems detected. That's perfect. Say continue. Then we're going to set a new username and password. We're going to call it admin, because we're clever like that. going to be admin 1234. So this is in the event that you forget your password, this admin password, then you'd need the email address. I'm not going to do that because I can remember it. We can remember admin 1234, right? Right, guys. Just call this typo3 YouTube. But let's just be sure. Let's just retype this password again. ADMIN, undo to a cat, like that. Say continue. Okay. Needs to contain one uppercase character. So, at least one symbol. So what do we do? Okay, just a second. Let me come back to my Obsidian in here. Let's just create a new note. T3 password. Okay, we'll call it admin 1234, and it wants an uppercase character. Let's put it on the D. Then, oh, that's actually not correct. Admin, it wants a okay, then we'll make this an exclamation mark. Yeah, I don't mind showing you this password because you actually can't get to my site even with these details, because this site runs only on my machine in my own no, it's not a container, it's not called that. Let's continue. Logging in. Okay, so you have two choices here. You can create an empty starting page or take me straight to the back end. We're gonna do this because reasons. Then we're gonna say open the back end. It's gonna ask us to log in, which is admin, and our password that we copied before. We're gonna log in, and if we've done everything correctly, then here we go. We have successfully installed a TYPO3 site with DDEV. DDEV and it is a composer site. Now, those of you that are well versed in the Docker arts, you can do the exact same thing after you've installed Docker. I am not touching Docker. Not with a 10-foot pole, not with a 5-foot pole, not with a 100-foot pole, because Docker to me is confusing. If you can use it, you can also do the exact same steps. You don't necessarily have to go through this. If you have Docker, I don't think you do. I don't know. I'd be lying. I'd absolutely be lying. So this is our dashboard. This is our TYPO3 backend. We will go on an exploration of it in the next video, and I'll tell you what all of these things do and how we work with them as a TYPO3 backend. But just to show you the reason why I said start with an empty home page, let's do this and show, allow, and there we go. We've got a TYPO3 site. So afterwards we're going to configure everything so we have our own pages, and we'll build an interesting little site for ourselves, a little site to showcase all of the nice things TYPO3 can do. That's all for this part of the video, guys. Yeah, thank you for coming, and bye.